Alright guys, welcome to another one of my lives. This is the third live that I'm doing, solving coding challenges. Now, while I'm solving the coding challenges that I solve, if you have any question, please be sure to maybe put them in the chat and I'll try to answer them. If there's anything that you don't understand or you'd like me to explain better, and also I would really appreciate if you give a like to the video so that YouTube push this content to more people. Uh, and like I said in the previous lives, what I'm going to do in the first lives where I'm solving coding challenges, I'm going to start with some easy ones because most people are at the beginning of their journey, and if we go too complicated we might not really be at the level where most people are. So I'm just gonna get some I think I'm gonna start with Codewars. And if you like, you say hello in the chat. I do monitor the messages from time to time. I am going to share my screen so that you guys are able to see what I'm doing. Right, so let's get an easy one from Codewars. It's called calculate average, and they say write the function which calculates the average of the numbers in a given list, right? And here it says empty arrays should return 0, right? So let's say train here, and this one is like a very easy one. Basically, we're given an array in the function, and what we have to return is the average of all the elements in the array, right? And if the array is empty, we're returning 0. Okay, so I'm gonna copy this function in Visual Studio Code. I'm going to say average. I like working in this editor, and then just copy the code there. So what we want to do is, first we want to make the sum of all the elements in the array. Well, what we want to say is, first we want to say if array length equal 0, so if it's empty we return 0. And we can also write this like this. If we're saying if array length, it means if array length is a truthy value, so it means it's not 0. But if it's 0, it's going to be a truthy value. It's going to be a falsy value. So we basically have to say if we use the not operator in front of it. So we say if this is a falsy value, so when we're using this it becomes truthy, then it means the array is empty, so we return 0. Otherwise, what we want to do is make the sum of all the elements of the array. So we're gonna say const sum, and the sum I'm going to instead of doing a for loop, I'm going to use a reduce on the array. So I'm going to say array, and if you don't know how to use the method reduce, you really should learn it because it's really nice. I have a few videos on it on my channel that basically you can learn it from basic to advanced. But basically here we can get an accumulator which we accumulate in, and a value. An accumulator starts from a value that you are going to define it here. Basically you say this callback function gets an accumulator and the current value, right? We can call this cur from current, and then basically here you give it the value to start with, and we want to start from 0, and then here what to return. And what we want to return is we want to return the current accumulator plus the current value. So basically on every iteration it adds to the current value of the accumulator, it adds the current value. So basically we're just adding the value to the accumulator, so we're making the sum of all the elements. Now the thing is, if you don't give here uh, a, a current value to start with for the accumulator, what is going to use as the value or as the starting value is the first element of the array. So we can just skip the 0 here and just return accumulator plus current, and this is going to make the sum of all the elements on the array. So it's pretty simple. And then what we want to return is return sum divided by array length, because we want to use the average to return the average, right? All right, and this is it. Let's copy this in here. I'm going to move this to the right and test it, and this works. And let's attempt it, and this works, right? So yeah, let me know if you have any questions about what I went through. Otherwise, I'm just gonna go and look at another kata. Okay, so like I said, we're gonna get some easy ones. Just gonna get some random ones. Let's see what we have here. Okay, let's see what this one does. It's okay, so it says you're writing code to control your town's traffic lights. You need a function to handle each change from green to yellow to red and then to green again. Complete the function that takes a string as an argument representing the current state of the light and returns a string representing the state the light should change to. So for example, update light of green should return yellow. And as you can see, it goes from green to yellow to red and then to green again. Right? So we need to write this function. Let's say train here. And I'm going to copy this in here. Alright, so what they said is the order is green, what did it say? Green, yellow, and red, and then green again. So what we want to do is we can make an array either inside here or outside, which stores the order, right? So const order of lights, right? And what we have is we have a string with green. After that it's yellow, and after that it's red, right? So what we want to do is so basically it gets the current and we have to return the next one, right? So what we want to do is find the index of the current one, right? We need to find where in the array is the current one, right? So we can use the index of method, right? So we say const index of current equals to order of lights, which is the array, and we say index of, and we find the index of the current, right? And then what we want to do is we want to add 1 to it, right? We say const index of next equals to index of current plus 1. But instead of that, instead of making 2, we can just say index of next. Instead of storing both of them, we just say const index of next is we find the current, the index of the current, and we add 1 to it. Now the thing is, when the index is gonna be 2, the index for the next one should actually be 0, right? So, but what we're gonna get is 4. So what we're gonna do, we want to say return, and here we want to return order of lights of index of next. But when that's gonna be actually 3, because when this is when the color we pass is red, we're gonna get here 3, and plus 1 is gonna be 4. So when we're trying to access order of lights of 4, we're gonna get undefined, right? So what we want to say here is we say a return order of lights of index of next, right? And the thing is, when index of next is 4, this is going to be undefined. So we're going to say if this doesn't exist, then return order of lights of 0, because when this doesn't exist, it means we have tried to access the fourth one, the fourth element, which doesn't exist, so it's undefined. So when we say this, if this is defined, uh, then return this, otherwise return the first one, right? And this should work. Let's test it. It seems to be working, and that's it. Let's submit it. All right, let's go and do one more. I see some people have actually done it by checking for everything, which is, I would say, even shorter. Yeah, you can do it like that as well, but I don't really like this all ternary operators. It looks kind of weird. uh, this one is quite nice. So basically here what they did is they get current and they mapped each color to the next color, and then it just returns this object of current. This one is quite nice, I like it. All right, and probably I would have come with something like that in production as well. You just experiment with what's nicer. Sometimes you come up with something, sometimes you come up with something else, but it's quite nice. I like it. That's the kind of solutions I like as well, which are pretty clever. Okay, let's try some 7 KU once. All right, let's see this one. Okay, so here it says find the greatest common divisor of two positive integers. The integers can be large, so you need to find a clever solution. The inputs x and y are always greater or equal to 1, so the greatest common divisor will always be an integer that is also greater or equal to 1. Okay, so they say that we have to find some kind of clever solutions because the number might be big. Okay, so I don't know, we may have problems with even that, but let's see. So basically we get to number and we have to find the greatest common divisor between them. Thank you very much for the like, much appreciated. So let me try with the kind of brute force first and see if we get accepted with that. I will first find the minimum between these two numbers, and I'm going to say const min, so the mean between these two. equals mod mean of x and y, and then I'm going to find the half of that, because you can't really have a divisor that's higher than the half of it, right? So we want to find const half of mean equals to parse int of mean divided by 2, because this mean divided by 2 might actually have 0.5 after it, right? Or we can use mat floor to basically, right? So we say mat floor mean divided by 2, and then what we want to say is we're gonna do a for, and we're going to say let I equals, I don't know if this is gonna work because I don't know if it's that much optimized, but if not, we're gonna have to try to think about something else. So we want to go from I equals to half of mean, and then I less um, less than or equal to 1, I guess, and then I minus minus. We want to say if uh, if x modulo I equals 0. So if x can be divided by I without any reminder, and y modulo I is also equal to 0, here we have to say and. Then we want to return I. So let's try first locally this function with some numbers. New terminal. I'm going to close this, and let's say console log mgd. Oh, I'm wondering, do we need to start from mean or from half mean? Because actually the higher number could be divided by the smaller numbers, so maybe we don't need to do this. Maybe we have to start from mean, I wonder. And let I equal mean. What's going on? Console log and my GCD of 8 and 16. This is probably not gonna work with the challenge because they say something about clever solution, and this is not that clever. Alright, so let's node average. What's going on here? It doesn't return nothing. Return if x minus 2 equals 0 and 1. Why would this not work? I less than or equal to 1. Let's do some console log here and see what we're missing. Console log mean and console log I. Let's see what's going on in this function. Okay, let's see. So we get mean undefined. So we go from 8 to 1, and then we say if x modulo I equals 0 and y modulo 0 equals 0, return I. So why is he not returning here? Hello Arman, how are you, my friend? You good? Let's see where this problem is here. Why is not console logging all this I? For let I equal mean, I is less than, oh, higher, not less, higher than or equal to 1. And let's take this off. Alright, and we get 8. So let's try this off. It's probably not gonna work because it's not that clever, but let's see. Let's test it. So I guess it works with this, but let's see if it works with all the tests. This might fail. Okay, pass 40, fail 0, exit code 1. Why did I allow a certain time for the text to execute? So okay, let's try this first. Const max equals max of n, and then let's say if max modulo mean equals 0, then return mean, and then we want to say let I equals math floor. Probably this is not gonna work as well. Math floor of mean divided by 2. Started raining outside. Let's try this attempt. This is not working as well. Oh, this is working. Yeah, this seems to be working. That's weird. So basically, I I had to kind of cut the things by 2. First, I had to check if the maximum number from the 2 was able to divide by the first one, and if not, then we were starting from mean divided by 2 to check for the divisor, so we were just saving some time. Let's see the other solutions, because I bet some other people just wrote some really clever solutions. What? Oh, very nice, very nice. Some well, it's nice, but so some people, look how simple solution. Some people, a lot of them use the recursions. That's very nice. But the thing is, a lot of that's the problem with some kind of these solutions, because it may be harder to understand in production what's going on. Let's check. Return if y equals 0, then we return x. Otherwise, we return this of y and x modulo y. I would have to spend some time to understand exactly what's going on here with this recursion. Yeah, I think some of these longer solutions are would be much more easier to understand than these recursion ones. All right, let's go do another one. I'm gonna do another one from here, and then I'm gonna try some from Leetcode. Then I have some water. And I gotta say, just because the code is shorter, it doesn't mean that it's best practice a lot of times. Okay, I'm just looking for something interesting. Let's see what this says. We want to know the index of the vowels in a given word. For example, there are two vowels in the word supper, the second and fourth letters. So given a string, we should return a list of 2 and 4. So we're given a string and we need to return the indexes of the vowels. Vowels in this context refers to A, E, I, O, and Y, including uppercase. This is indexed from 1 to n, not 0 included. I'm not sure what they mean by that. So we're given a word. Let's clear this. And we want to find the okay, so they want to say that in the word this first letter should actually be 1. Wait, supper 2. Yeah, so basically they're saying this is 2, but in reality this is 1 because indexes start from 0, but we basically kind of have to add 1 to it. That's what they say, right? So what we want to say is we can say we can return, and what we want to say is I want to spread this string in an array, and when you use the spread on a string, it spreads every letter, so it basically make an array with all the letters one by one. So I'm just using the spread operator here, like you can use an array to the spread operator to spread the elements of an array in another array. You can use it on a string to spread all of its characters one by one in an array. So this would, if you had a string like this, hello, this would make you an array with all the letters one by one in the array. Now we want to say here const vowels equals to a a I O and U, right? And then we want to say return word, and then we want to say um, map, and for each what do we want to say? We want to maybe reduce it. Yeah, let's reduce it. We can use reduce, and we're saying reduce, and here we're getting the accumulator, the value, and we want the index as well, the index in the array of this value, right? And we want to reduce this to an array, so here we're returning an array. right? And here we are saying a function, right? And we're saying if vowels includes, so if that array of vowels includes the value, but we want to make the value to lowercase because we don't care if it's an uppercase A, E, or O or U. We don't care if it's uppercase, so we're gonna lowercase it first, and then we're checking it if it's included in here. And if it's included, then what we want to say is we want to say accumulator equals 2, and we're spreading all that in accumulator at the moment, and then we're not putting the value, we're putting the index of that value because we want to find the indexes of the vowels, right? But we're not actually putting the index, we're putting the index plus 1 because they said they want to start from 1, so we're saying index plus 1 just because they specify that. And then here we're returning the accumulator. Let me know if you want me to go through any of this again. So let's copy this. Let's test it. This passes. And it seems some of them fail. Let's see why. Instead got 2, 3. So it seems to be not working for some of them. It should work for random inputs too. What is the problem here? So it's expecting 2, 3. I'm missing 11 here. So let's see what's at 11 here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Oh, what are they? Is this? Did I miss this? Is this a vowel? What? What? What the? What are the vowels? Am I like never knew what the vowels were? These are the vowels. Why are they putting Y as a vowel? This is stupid. Alright, let's see. I bet some other people complained about this. No, they put it in here, but if you look into the discussions, where are the discussions? Discourse. Yeah, I mean, I is not a vowel, at least not in English. Oh my god, who made this? Alright, let's try some from Leetcode, maybe one or two. Explore. Not this, maybe problems. Put some water on me. Oh. Alright, we're gonna do some easy. Let's see, merge sorted array. Okay, so it says given two sorted integer arrays nums1 and nums2 into nums1 as one sorted array. The numbers of elements initialized in nums1 and nums2 are m and n respectively. You may assume that nums1 has a size equal to m plus n such that it has enough space to hold additional elements from nums2. I think here they're talking about other languages where arrays are a certain size. In JavaScript, arrays don't have a defined size. Alright, so basically they are already merged, they're already sorted, and now we need to merge them into one array. That is sorted as well. So let's have a think. So basically we have to merge nums2 into nums1 as one sorted array. Okay, let's see how we're going to do this. Okay, so trying to have a think about the best way to do it. So it basically says to merge it into the array, into the first array. Are we going to use splice for this? Okay, so let's see. This is kind of weird. I'm having trouble thinking about. So this is weird. This is easy. Maybe I'm overthinking this because I think I've done this before. Did I do it? No. I think I remember doing it. Alright, so let's say for let's just start writing something and we'll figure out. For let I equals okay, so let's say for let I equals 0, I less than nums 2 length. So we're gonna go through all the elements of this array. And here we say I plus plus. Actually, instead of saying this, I think I can use for let or const. Can I use const num in nums2. Let me do a console log first. Console log num, just to make sure I'm using the right method. And let's do merge, and we're gonna say 1 2 with a length of 2, and 3 and 4 with a length of 2. So let's clear this, and we get num in nums num of I think of maybe, yeah, of nums2, right? So we get the elements one by one, and then we want to find the index in nums1 of the first element that is higher or equal to this number, right? So we want to say const index of higher or equal, and we want to say nums1 find index where num we say where num is higher or equal to well, num here we have to give num num1 num1 is higher or equal to this num, right? And we find the index of that, and then what we want to do is we want to say nums1, and we want to splice this before it. So we want to say num splice, and we want to say index of higher or equal -1, and we want to remove 0, and we want to add the number. That should do it, I guess. Let's see. And so we basically merging this, and then let's console log it after. Console log nums1. What happened here? 3 4 1 2. Oh, what's gonna happen if there's no we have to go with the lowest, I guess, because you may not be highest, lowest or highest. How are you gonna do this? We have to find the sorry, I just went into a bit of a thing. Alright, so if we got something with 3 and 4, 1 2 3 4, well, if it doesn't find it, because here it basically doesn't find it, so it doesn't find anything that's higher or equal. So what we want to do is we want to say this is let, right? And we want to say if equals -1, which means it didn't find it, then we want to give the index. We want to make the index, we want to make it the last index, so we want to give it nums1 length -1, right? This should work. What? This start doesn't work? I think we might need to do some console logs. Hello, Darampal, how are you, my friend? What's going on here? 3412. Well, we want to say this. No, so here what we want to do is, well, here we actually want to add it after higher. If we find the higher one. Oh yeah, so here we just want to say higher, not higher or equal. Index of higher, and here we want to say higher, and then here we give it this, and here we don't want to say -1, we want to say this, right? We just want to say index of higher. Okay, let's see this. 1 3 4 2. So it did change something, but I think here we want to give it nums1 length. Why is it doing the same thing? I'm wondering because this is actually modifying the original array. So what if we say, instead of saying this, we say nums1 equals to nums1 slice 0 to index of higher -1. Well, index of higher because it doesn't take this one. And we want to spread this. Then we want to put here the number, and then we want to say spread from index of higher to the rest. Let's see. This does the same thing. Why? Why? Going back to before, because still don't understand why is this doing the same thing. We keep getting stuck with this Leetcode easy, supposedly easy problems. Yeah, so it seems to be doing the same thing. So there's a mistake here in the thinking. This is what happens when you do lives after work. So let's go back to what it was before, because this is about the same thing, but we're missing something. So what we're finding the index of where num1 is higher than num, right? And if it's higher, then Then we want to add here index of higher -1. This should be -1, 0, and we want to add num, right? Okay, so let's see. 3412. What the fuck? Oh, sorry. Demonetized. It's not like I'm monetized already anyway. Alright, so what's going on here? We're saying if index of higher equal to -1, which means it didn't find it, then we give it nums1 length. Let's do some console logs around here to see what's going on. Console log num. Let's see where the mistakes happen. Well, instead of doing this, what I'm going to do is I'm going to activate this, because this actually should show me. Why it doesn't show me? I think it's just starting now. Okay, so basically this Quokka extension, it shows me the console logs in here. So it shows me 3 and 4, and then let's see if I put here index of higher, what is this going to be? -1 and -1, right? So for both is -1. This is correct. This is what we are expecting. Okay, and here let's see what is here, index of higher. But why is index of higher here still -1? Because if it's -1 here, then we should give it nums1 length. Why is it still -1? What? What's going on here? Because here, let's see, console log. Okay, so it comes in here. What's happening if I say here nums1 length? Huh? Why it doesn't do nothing? Why is this not being able to access? What's going on? Why is it console log nums1 nums1 length? Okay, so first is 2, then is 3. Okay, so we're giving this. If we're making here index of higher, we're making nums1 length, it should be 2 and 3. So why is it not 20? Console log index of higher. Why is this not 2 and 3 here? I don't know if you're watching and have any idea, maybe you can let me know, because I don't know why. Because here is what a mistake. Here I'm basically doing an equality. I'm not giving it nothing. I'm just checking, is it equal? Oh my god, I hate when I put equal instead of equal, or equal instead of checking for equality. This is such a stupid mistake. Oh, okay, and this is probably why it wasn't working. Okay, so let's try this. Clear. Oh, my computer is stuck. Okay, here I need to console log the num1, nums1, so I can see what's going on. Okay, I'm still getting that 1342. Why is that? 1342. Index of higher -1, 0, and num. Is it -1 or just index? I would think it's -1. Okay, so this work for this, but what's happening if these are something like where you have something like 5 in here? Is this gonna work? No, this works. Wow, I'm basically always solving by experimentation. This is my job. All right, so let's take this and put it in here. So basically what we're doing is we're saying we're going to all the elements from nums2. We're finding the index of the element that is higher than that in nums1. So we're finding the index of that. If we're not finding the index because there is no element that is higher than that, then we give to this index, we give it nums1 length, and then what we're doing is we're splicing from that index that we found. We splice 0, and then so basically instead of the number that was higher, because here basically if it doesn't find 1, it will mean something like the element that's higher is outside the array. So here basically that's why we give in nums1 length, because nums1 length is the next number that will be outside the array, and this is in place of the number that will be higher. We're putting the number that's a little bit lower because it needs to be before it, so it takes its index. It basically becomes the element at the index where the element that was higher was before. So that's why we're saying nums1 splice index of higher, because we're putting this number that is a little bit less before that one, but it's basically in place of it, and that one moves one place to the right, and we're removing zero elements, and we're adding these elements, right? So let's run the code. Why does it say wrong answer? Let's take some console log out here. Am I consoling something out at some point? Your input. Oh, what? Output this 1 2 2 1 2 3 expected. What? It expects the 0 not to be there. Why are zeros in here? This is not sorted. Why are they saying this is a sorted array? Because this is not sorted. We basically, I just have to filter all the zeros, I guess, from there. Why is why are there these zeros in there? I don't get it. That's kind of stupid, right? I don't get this. Hmm. I'm just gonna filter all the zeros. What the heck? I don't understand why there are zeros there. Nums1 filter, and I'm gonna say num return num, which means it returns just the truthy value. So nums1 equals this, nums2 equals this. I don't know if I'm gonna be allowed to do that. I might have to do it somehow else. Num is not equals to 0, num not equal to 0. Okay, so maybe they don't allow me to change this. So I'm gonna have to do it somehow else. But I don't get this stupid because this is not saying anything. I see somebody actually noticed my error. I was using 3 equals instead. Thank you for that. I'm just seeing it now. And hello everybody. I would appreciate a like if you wouldn't mind. Alright. Anyway, this is a stupid problem. Why is there 0 after 1 to 3 when they say they are sorted arrays? So nums1 find in, well, we can say here thank you very much for the like. But they expect us to take this. Oh, I see what's going on. So basically what they did here is they have zeros for the, I get it now what they're doing. They basically have 0 in place of the numbers for the second array. So what we're going to say is here we're going to say how are we going to do this? If it doesn't find index, then we need to find the index of 0, right? So if this is -1, then we need to find the index of the first 0, right? So we say index of higher equals to nums1 find index of zero, find index of well, we say nums1 index of 0. Thank you very much for the like, much appreciate. Index of 0. So if we didn't find one that is higher, we find the index of 0, and then in that case we're going to say nums1 splice index of higher. We remove that 0, so we say remove 1 and put this number instead. Otherwise we do what we were doing before, right? So going through it, we go through the nums2, and for each element we're looking in nums1 to find an index of an element that is higher than that number. If we find it, so if we don't find it, we do this, but if we find it, we basically use that index. We don't remove anything, but we add that index that was before the higher element, we put this element, so we're basically sliding it in there in that place of higher element, and we're moving that higher element to the right. But if we didn't find something that was higher than that element in this array, we want to put it in a place where we have a 0. So we find the index of the first 0, and then at that index we remove 1 because we're removing the 0 and we're putting that number instead. So now I am understanding why were those zeros in there, but it's kind of a stupid way. Let's run this code. What? I'm still getting, okay, so here I'm still getting an additional 0. So basically I'm still getting a 0 that I don't need. They want that removed. So we can can we do now nums1 can we do nums1 equal, I don't think they're gonna allow this, but we're gonna have to do it somehow else, but let's try nums1 equal nums1 filter. They probably not gonna allow it, but let's see. Num, and we return num is not equal to 0. Let's see. Oh, they're not allowing us to change the array like that. So what we can do is, because we want to remove all the other zeros, we can say while, and we want to say nums1 index of 0 is different than -1, which means there is a 0 in there. Then we want to say nums1 splice, and we want to remove from that index nums1 index of 0. We want to remove 1, right? So we want to splice 1 out. So let's do that. And that works. And now we get another problem, because I thought they were saying that there's only positive numbers. Let's see what they were saying here. Or well, they were not saying that. Okay, but why is this not working in this case? Submit. So many caveats with this one. Okay, so now they're expecting actually to have zeros in here, because the zeros, oh, so We only want to remove zeros from the end, but not from inside. So that's one thing we have to. So what we want to say, we want to look at something else instead. We're going to say while nums1 of nums1 length minus 1 uh, is equal to 0. So while that is 0, we want to pop it. So we want to take it out while the last element is a 0, because we don't want to remove 0 if they are inside there. So let's zoom in this. And again, another one. Why is this not working? Output of nums1 length minus 1 equals 0, nums1 pop. Why is this not working? Hi Varun, I am using Ecam Live. I'm paying something like £16 a month for it or something like that. While nums1 of nums1 length minus 1 equals 0. Am I not allowed to use nums1 pop or what? If I copy this, why are they not doing this? I've copied this. Okay, let me try these things in here. These problems really annoys me with their freaking cases. So let's see what's going on here. After this, let's console log nums1 and see what's going on. I'm gonna give it these cases that they have here, input, these inputs. I'm not even using this, but we could use this. Oh, but anyway, let's see what's going on here. So let's see. Why is this? What if I'm not doing this? What is this thing returning? Clear. So this is not. Oh, what am I doing here? Yeah, I put this in here instead of doing that. So basically this has to stop here. So it's nums1 of nums1 length minus 1 equals 0. I was doing all this in parentheses. Woo! Kill me now. This is another one that's not working. What's going on here? Expected this. Wow, there are so many. My solution is not good at all. For creating thumbnails, I'm using Canva Pro. 0030 unexpected -100. But why is this not working? -1 0 0. Ah, this is a very weird one. I hate when I'm stuck that much on an easy problem. It makes me want to give up. Do we need to approach it somehow else? So let's see what are these. These are the things for which I'm not getting a good solution now. Let me clear this. So I'm having something like this, -1. So -1 is gonna go in here, then 1 should go in here. So what am I getting? I'm getting this. I expected this. Why am I getting this? Do I need here higher or equal? Oh, I, I have needed higher than equal, which is what I went with first time. This drives me crazy, man, I'm telling you. I'm telling you, it drives me crazy, but I can't give up until I have it running. Ugh, another one? What? So now, what's going on? Now we have the 0 and now we have to keep the zeros. Oh, okay. So basically here we were checking for zeros, but instead of that what we need to check is uh, if nums1 while nums1 length is higher than m, I think higher than m, which was the length of the original array, then we want to take it off, I guess. At this point I'm not sure because this is the problem of different side effects. Wait, is it m or m plus n maybe here? This is so stupid, really. Doesn't really give a good explanation for this. And now it's another shit. Okay, I'm giving up on this one because it really all right. So basically what they're saying here, because somebody's asking me to explain what the question is basically they're saying given two sorted integer arrays nums1 and nums2, merge nums2 into nums1 as one sorted array. So they are both already sorted on their own, but you have to merge nums2 into nums1 and keep nums1 as a sorted array. Then it says the numbers of elements initialized in nums1 and nums2 are m and n respectively. You may assume that nums1 has a size equal to m plus n such that it has enough space to hold additional elements from nums2. But like I had close solutions, but there are like all these different things that are like not working. Let's see what this one is and why it wouldn't work. At this point I feel like I'm walking in circles. I'm fixing something and okay, so this one is something like this: -1 0 and what does it expect? -1 -1. So it expects two -1s, which is correct. Then 0 0. I'm just wondering if this splicing is messing up thing. So let's maybe console log nums1 every iteration and see what's going on here. Console log nums1 clear. So what we get first is we get the -1 put, then we get the 0 put, which is correct. Then why does this 2 take place of the 0? Because oh, here we're finding the index of 0, but we actually, so we're finding the index of 0. That was from what we was checking out before. So I think here we want to find the index of so if it doesn't find any higher element, then it should put it at the end. But how do we put it at the end? If we're splicing here, we can say maybe m equals m plus 1, I would say. We increase the m when we're splicing 1, and then if index of higher equals to -1, then index of higher will be m, and we just want to add that there. We don't need this here. We just make index of higher m, m plus 1, m plus 1 I think, maybe. Let's see what we get if we run this again. No, something weird is happening here. Let me know guys in the chat. Can you create a new array and push everything into it? Side no, because they want us to actually modify the. I thought from the first about that, but no, they want us to modify the array that they give us with some zeros, and they make everything very weird. It's just messing up with our heads really. What is going on here? So basically, can we not increase m? Why? We're saying else increase, and we're adding this number, and then if index of higher equals to -1, which means it doesn't find it, then we want this to become m. I've been struggling with this for a while, I'm telling you. So weird. Higher or equal if index of higher equals to -1, which means it didn't find it, then index of higher, I think here it should be m plus 1. I don't get why this is not working properly. What is happening here? I'm just gonna experiment with something, but I don't think that's gonna work. That would be weird. Yeah, I don't. Oh, okay. So index of higher will be m plus 1, and then we're just saying this again. Actually, we're just gonna do it this at the end for each, right? So let's see. Okay, so we're getting something different. I think maybe this is the solution, but the only problem is we're getting here a 232 for some reason. I think we're getting closer to the solution. So what we're gonna say, if index of higher equal to -1, then index of higher equal to m+1, else m equals to m plus. Now, so the m+1 should happen anyway, I think. Yeah. So we're just saying if this, do this, and then this and this. I got so confused. Okay, so now this seems to be the right solution. So let's go through what's going on here. So basically we're finding the index of the number that is in num1 that is higher or equal to num from nums2. Then if that index is -1, it means it didn't find um, any number that's higher. So we want to make this index of higher, we want to make it m+1, which means is because here m, if we're given an array like this, m is actually where this array ends the numbers, right? So we're increasing, we're giving the index of the higher number here, like it would be here, because we want to introduce the high number here, right? So if we don't find the higher element, we make it like it's somehow outside of that array, and then we basically splice exactly at that index. We don't take anything out, but we put a number, and then we're increasing the length of that first array by 1 because we introduced a new number. And then at the end we're saying while nums1 length is different than m, we want to put the zeros out. And hopefully this is gonna be the final solution, and I'm gonna end the live because this has been torture. All right, let's what's going on here? My things have collapsed. I can't believe how much this problem, because it's kind of weird made. It's not the way you would usually work with things, I think, or maybe I don't know. I just don't work with things like that in real life. Okay, still not working. What is going on now? 1230 1256. Okay, let's see why it wouldn't work in this case. I am not giving up until I fix this. What is going on here? Clear. What happened here? Did I copy this? Yeah. So let's put this in here and see why that would have failed. So 2, it finds higher or equal and it puts it in there. It increases the m. We copy this one more and try it out, because submit. So yeah, it's still saying it's not working for this one, and let's see why. It would find the index, it will splice at that index, and we would increase the 1. We would increase the m, right? Then we would find 5, and it should be in, it should find, is it here, m plus 1? Oh no, not m plus 1 here, it should be uh, index of file should be m, not m plus 1, because we put instead of that element. Oh my god, I am, my brain is only coming up with farts now, because I got so annoyed at this one I can't think properly anymore. Oh, finally, come on. Honestly. Anyway, we're going to end the live here. Probably work on this problem for like 45 minutes or something. But it's a weird one. The way they did it is like so stupid. I'm just ranting at Leetcode with, well, not Leetcode, whoever put this solution, this. Let's see if some people got annoyed as well, like me. What are they saying? Actually, in the discussions, I think there are just solutions and stuff like. But JavaScript simple solution. Let's see what other people have said. Some really simple solutions here. Oh, freaking! Well, I mean, some people just were like kind of cheaty. They were saying nums1 length equal m. So basically, they changing the length to m, which means it's taking all the zeros out. Well, yeah, I mean, I could have done that because those zeros were just confusing. I mean, honestly, why do I need those m? That's why I was getting confused. Then nums2 length equals n. Then you're saying nums1 push nums2, and then you're using sort. I mean, come on, this is like, you're not even trying. It's just, but it's probably even better than just using slice so many times. So yeah, I probably overcomplicated because of the way they kind of did it. But yeah, I could have just said remove the zeros. But I think it was a bit cheaty because the way they were trying to do it, it was not to not be able to access nums1 and nums2, but I think they you were able to access the length. Anyway, I don't know. But anyway, this was shit. All right, I'll see you next time. Thank you for watching, and bye bye for now.